Hey guys, welcome to the LY show. I'm Liying. We're still waiting out COVID-19 pretty much everywhere in the world. So Leah and I started talking to people from all over the world 7 weeks ago about how they've been coping with this pandemic. Today we're super excited to have award-winning comedian Phil Kay with us. Hi Phil.
Hiya.
Long time.
I
How are
know,
you
isn't
doing?
it? Time is so long, but it's plenty of it. It's everywhere. It doesn't just go long or short. People always like short of time, but it goes wide, doesn't it? I love the width of time. I love it. So I knew it. There you are. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again. So how are you doing?
Oh, I've been waiting for this viral gap, this time all my life. It's perfect. I've been training for it so that I'm ready emotionally and physically. So I'm finding it the best time of my life. It's like we have a thing called bank holidays here where everything just stops. But on a Monday, bank holiday Monday, it feels like it's just going on forever. I'm loving it. And
Yeah.
of course, it's all about the art over.
Okay, so oh yeah, we're on the radio, so we keep saying over.
Oh, you
So
said over. Yeah, sorry, right.
over.
Oh, no, don't talk over me. Over me, over. You can do it how you like, but of course, so fire away, love.
All right. So where are you at the moment?
I live in a fantastic little village in the south of England near London. I'm in a friend's house because I don't have Wi-Fi. I live in a studio van nearby. I'm living in a wee place. My kids live about half a mile away with their mum. So when they want to come to me, so today we were in a lake, which is like a big pond, swimming all day because it's hot here, about 24 degrees. It's very nice, British summertime. They put the clocks forward. We were just having a holiday without any of the pressure. Because sometimes holiday, you're like, I've got to have a good time. It's the holidays. But in fact, we don't have to have a good time because it's going to go on forever. So we're all actually having a really good time. I've never had a better time. I've been reading and writing every day like a real writer. I've been writing for hours every day. So I've written a couple of books and I've done lots of art and I've received art well. And I'm having an amazing time day to day, especially with music. I've got my guitar with me and we're going to write a theme tune for your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
To Shanghai, to everywhere in the world. Something like that. We'll find out what you need and then we'll do it.
All
And
right. Really
so, yeah,
appreciate it.
I don't think I'm meant to, but it's just a very enjoyable time. It's just very enjoyable because a lot of people are finding out what is really important in their lives that they maybe thought was important isn't actually important anymore. Or some aspect of their work isn't that key, or so everyone's having time. It's like when you're a trampoline, you're trampolining, and for a minute though, if you stop the camera, you are just flying, aren't you? So this is now just flying time. I know it's serious, people are dying all over the world, as it were. They were dying anyway, they haven't stopped dying. Zoom. Have you noticed how nobody does much zooming on Zoom? Zoom. But people are dying everywhere anyway, but we don't care about them anymore. Haha, what a shame. So it's not that much different to life, but what's amazing is that everybody's thinking about the same thing. So I think that's really rare. Even a world war, we didn't have the capacity to all think about the same thing. So everybody's kind of on the same page. And everyone's saying to me, why are you doing funny? You're a comedian. Are you doing funny things on the web? And I'm like, no, everyone else can do that now. I've been doing that for years. I don't need to do that. Now it's everyone else's turn. So hopefully everyone's doing, I don't know, I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm not really, maybe in the months to come, I'll get Wi-Fi where I live and join it and see what everyone's up to. But it's great fun just doing your own thing. So I've been just mostly writing and long books, long form books.
Wow, that's amazing. So do you always live without Wi-Fi, or this is just for the quarantine?
Yeah, the last 5 years I've been living sort of off grid. So I live on a wee farm and work with vegetables. Or right now I'm just living close to the kids in a wee place. Or before that I was in a caravan. So yeah, I always live without Wi-Fi. Only because I don't prefer not to be in homes at the moment, houses. I have a home. That's our catchphrase, me and the kids. Dad's got a home. Doesn't have a house. He got a home. Home's a feeling, isn't it? So it's a definite choice and it's no problem. And whatever I need, then I go and access it. It's a bit like having one small guitar. When you come across people with a big, then you enjoy that. So I go to their house, my friend's house, use Wi-Fi, whatever, when I need to. But of course I've got a phone for things, so I can reach WhatsApp and I'm on connected to the world, but I don't need Wi-Fi because I All the films I watch are on DVD. Look at that. Have you ever seen one for years? Whoa, look. It's called Digital Versatile Discs. I've been working my way through all the films of Tarkovsky, the Russian filmmaker. Look at that. You have to open it, and then you take it out. It's a hard copy. Do you remember them? So lovely. I love it.
Awesome.
So I watch films and I write about films, and then I it's a whole different experience. It's so physical. So you have this item, and then you watch a film, and then you put it away. Rather than right now, you could watch a film and then watch hundreds. It'll probably even show you on Netflix what else you could be watching around the edge. You know, they're never happy. There's always something else floating in the edge of the screen and offering you, and it's terrible, isn't it? I've been designing my own shuttlecocks as well. You know, trying to make a really nice new kind of shuttlecock with feathers. It's not going very well, but anyway. Films and art. That's it. What have you been doing? Over.
Oh, I'm pretty lucky because I've actually never really experienced any quarantine. When things got bad here, I got a chance to go to Thailand, and I was there for almost 2 months. And when I came back to Shanghai, things, pretty much got back to normal. So I've been really, really fortunate. But we've been talking to people from all over the world. Gradually, I started feeling it. But it's great that you're coping with it so well and even take it to another level, you know?
I think it's difficult to assess, but like even every game of sport people are in, they're at that point, and then you just use whatever the situation is. So when the team attack you, then you can use that for your attack. So whatever the world gives you, you come up with things. It's only humans have started to put too many blocks between them and being really agile with their minds and on it. So even out with the kids there today, we got lost. So we had to kind of in the forest, and we had to sort of be smart and come up with tricks, and the only thing, all humans are brilliant, aren't they? They're all geniuses, but they just sometimes put something in between them. Like comedians sometimes put something in between them and the true laughter. They put routines and doing well, whatever. But if you put nothing in between it, then you access. So luckily, I think that's where I'm at, in the sense that I'm not really generating any income, but I probably could from what I'm doing. I'm writing stuff that I will then put on the internet. So I'll have a couple of books. One's called Insploits, and one's called Exploits. One's about in the mind, and one's about traveling. Writing up all the stories of my life. Yeah, it really helps me when I'm doing stuff. That's what I write about. So as a comedian, I go off on adventures. So each gig, if I travel an hour to a gig, or if I travel to Asia, or if I travel to Scotland, it all has its own story. So that's when my mind goes into overdrive, which is why sometimes I get to a gig and it can be about the journey to the gig, because that's what happened. That's how I work. So I can write. I always write up diaries, and then eventually I type them up, and eventually I publish them. And so that's what I'm going to do now. Again, I always do it, but I'll do 2 more, because I've just written 2 in the last 6 weeks. So I'll put them out and then try and get them to everyone I know. I know some famous people, and they can spread the word or something. I don't know. But who's not? Right. Who's not writing memoir? I mean, like, what are people doing? Are they just sitting there going, well, man, a 3-day week, hooray? I don't know. Who's not got a notepad? Where's my notepad? Who's not got a notepad? And then my friend on my notepad. It's like it gets all my thoughts, collects my thought it's better than a phone. So I think that's the thing. That's the thing for me, definitely, is to record and be and celebrate exactly what you are. You'll come up with your own unique things. So so I've been doing that's just been great fun. What else? I can't remember what else I've been doing. I've been cycling like mad. I thought, if you want, I can do you I can fix a puncture and do a puncture masterclass. I'm getting so good at changing punctures, you wouldn't believe. You do it in about 4 minutes. Is that useful for you, or do you know how to do it?
No.
My pump all you do is you pump it up. It's really simple. Pump it up, and then you isolate the area with a little bit of sandpaper. You sand it. You get a wee square of sandpaper with every puncture repair kit. Just you sand it down, Liang, and then because it gets rubbed away, it gets more grippy. which is, I think, very metaphorical for life. We all get a bit rubbed away, but we can use that to our advantage. We rub it away. You get the special glue, which isn't glue, that's vulcanizing. Have you heard of a vulcanizer?
No.
That's not glue. You can't sniff that. That's not glue. That's vulcanizer, which turns the rubber, and then you get a patch, and you just put it on the top, and then on you go. That's you riding on. That's another 100 miles.
I can tell that you're a very disciplined writer, aren't you?
I am I've got my own form of discipline. Seriously, the last 6 weeks I've written for 150 hours. Yeah, I write 3 or 4 hours every day. Yeah. And then I've been editing for 2 weeks solid. So yeah, I'm disciplined recently. But discipline is your own choice. Normally I'm disciplined like for 1 hour every now and then at night or something. I'm disciplined in that way. But right now I'm more than disciplined. I'm just like, there's nothing else means anything. Nothing else matters. Because normally I'd be playing in a music band with my friends 2 or 3 nights a week, and music was my life. But now I can't reach anyone. I've only got myself. So I've become super disciplined, and it's very, very useful. And I've stopped smoking so many daytime spliffs. So now I'm a little bit more disciplined as well, because you've got to fill your life with fun you believe in. And so I really believe in the typing, and it's incredible. I just had a numb bum. I never had it for a year. I never had it before. My bum is numb because I've been sitting on a stool. Do normal writers get this? Nobody's writing about numb bum. It's an agony. So when I see a keyboard, when I see QWERTY now, I start to get a numb bum, like a Pavlovian response. But I'm certainly loving it, really. And I'm so disciplined means, from the disciples of Jesus. Over.
That's cool. All right. So when was the last time you performed?
I don't know. Oh my God, that's a good question. I never thought about that. Sorry. I wish I had a story. What was it? I'll think of it. I can't remember. I have no idea. I mean, so like a month and a half ago before the thing. Oh, I know. Yeah, in my local village, we've got a brilliant little venue, which is a craft beer venue. So it's like called the Hop Yard. And in it, they do shows. And my friend does a cabaret show. So it's called Wild and Fruity or something. It's like risque cabaret. So everyone does a cabaret. And I do striptease. So I was doing a striptease act where I'd done one before, but this time I did one with where I was a DIY guy, one of those workmen who comes around. So I came around with some ladders and a tool bag, and there's a band and they're playing and I had some ladders, and so I strip off and climb up a ladder and just got a toolkit on and a screwdriver and this tape measure. You know how you can make a tape measure go really long and then it sort of comes down. I was getting lots of laughs for ages, but doing nothing. And then I stepped over the ladder and everything came up and I flashed the whole crowd, which is wrong. It's all about teasing, isn't it? But anyway, so that was the last gig I did, and that's in my hometown, and there'll be one of them every month forever. And that's not comedy. Before that, the last comedy I did was in London at a little club. I can't remember what happened. I haven't got a story about that. I can't remember what it was. I was the only thing I'm going to miss here all summer is festivals. There's Glastonbury and Nostock, and about 5 other festivals that I go to, which are great fun. They pay money, of course, and yet they're just what summer's all about. And camping and staying up late and dancing, basically. And so that's a shame. But I don't miss performing for my soul. I don't need to perform, as it were. I've done enough of it. I need to play music so I can play music in my self, in my home and whatever. But I don't need to do comedy. But I will. I can't wait to get back to it. So I think the first thing I've got booked is in August. People are waiting. No one's booking it.
Do you think thank you. Do you think things will get back to normal in August?
I don't think things go back ever to anything ever. So no. And yet, yes, we don't farm our own food. So we will have to go to shops again. It'll all be normal. A lot will go back to exactly what it was. But there'll be something in everyone's minds. I think there'll be a wee crust around everyone's mind going, hey, man. And people will be more relaxed. one of the best top 3 things I've seen are people that never say hello to each other are now saying hello to each other. And people are like talking to each other in supermarkets. And me and my friend are like going, well, we always talk to people in supermarkets. I know, but now everyone's doing it. And it's like people are suddenly realizing, I'm calling it the homeopathy apocalypse, you know, homeopocalypse, where people are getting a wee taste, homeopathic, tiny amount of the end of the world. And they're suddenly valuing their days in the way that if you're a free guy, I mean, you know, I don't have a boss or anything. So all my adult life, you know, so I've been kind of in that zone. If you like, you don't want to push it too far, but that's the zone that a lot of people are now in more. And it's beautiful to see. So now you just walk around. I can play my harmonica around town and people sort of wave. They don't go, who's that weird guy playing music? Now they go, thank you, or yeah, or it's brilliant. So it's a license to be, whereas before, it was just people who were on Bluetooth had a license to talk to themselves. Now there's a license for everyone to be as lovely as they want to be. And I dig that over.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So how many things do you do? Oh, that's awesome.
Etc. How many things do I do in my life? What were you going to ask? Over.
No, how many things do you do? Like in a day, you spend like a few hours writing, and then you play music, and then how many other things do you do? I mean, like it seems like you're enjoying every minute of it.
Oh, I totally am. I mean, again, the beautiful thing with my kids nearby is I could just be, when they come, I'm available. So, but generally speaking, I would get up in the morning. I'd be brushing out. I like to brush out in the morning, brush out everything, sunroof open, get the coffee on in a, what's it called, a mocha. Wow, my friends just made me a snack. Woo! Thanks, Anna.
Oh, great.
Look at that. What is that? Never mind me. Look at that. Look at the thickness of that cottage cheese. That is insane. That is beautiful. Sorry, egg mayonnaise. And look at that cheese with holes in. Have you ever got that? That's how thin that is. So I get up in the morning. I definitely make a coffee in a mocha machine, and I would just be at the keyboard. Literally for the last 3 weeks I've been editing, and I finished yesterday, so now I didn't have to, but I rewrote the very end of the last trip. Was when I went to, after I knew you, I went to Phuket, Phuket, and did 2 gigs there. And one of them was the best of the worst gigs you've ever seen in your life. I can tell you it for hours, or I can tell you in a short. It was in an Irish bar in a shopping mall, the worst thing you've ever seen. And as soon as I went on, they were like, in Irish accents, where are the jokes, mate? Where are the jokes? And I'm like, where are the jokes? I'm the joke, you idiots. So it didn't go well. And at the end of it, this man sort of came at me with a stick. He said, I'm a stroke victim. You know what I mean by stroke? He's had a heart attack. He said, I've survived a stroke. And I'm like, well, don't. And he started chasing me with a stick. You won't believe it.
So we were talking about your Phuket experience. It was terrible. That was shocking because like I thought it's a very like a friendly place. I was there for 2 months.
Oh, well, Phuket is the island, but I went to Pat Tong. Is that right?
That's an actual... Pat Tong, yes, that's the busy area. Yeah, I was there.
I mean, it's fine. Everywhere is fine. And do you remember the beach? And you go to the far end of the beach, and there's all those guys kicking a football to each other and everything, and it's all it's great, but it's just not. You know, it's too touristy. It's too mad. Yeah. And it doesn't matter with you're a comedian. If you have a bad time, that's good. The worse it is, the better it is. You can talk about it. So I had lots of good adventures in the 2 days I was there. Especially getting chased by an old man. He was so slow chasing me. I could have a rest, like it's a zombie movie. You know, when you can have a rest. They're moving so slow. I had a wee sit down when he was chasing me. It's funny.
Oh my God! Right. So and I mean, like, it's surprised when you were telling me that it didn't go well. I mean, like, you're always very like a high energy, very highly energetic person on stage, and it's like a very weird, like, you know they didn't get, you know. So
well, I have a lot of really atrociously received gigs because people do sometimes want jokes, and if And if you're not doing jokes, if you're just talking, with you like energy, high energy is good, but it can also annoy people that you're so high energy, man. Because I don't know, sometimes they don't follow it. So it's like making mayonnaise, you know what I mean? You can be stirring for ages, and it just bing, and it sets, things set, or they don't. So this is just one of those gigs that didn't set, but it had all these other things funny about it as well. The guy that ran the bar was really mean, and it was very odd, and lots of stuff was going on. And the microphone lead was only about 1.5 meters long, so I couldn't walk around. I just had to stand by the machine. It was so funny, and lots of stuff went bad. But anyway, but that was still worth writing about. That was the end of the books. I just finished writing that yesterday, and now it's finished. So I'll put them online and try and sell books, which is a great way to make money now.
All right. Okay, awesome. So is this the worst experience, or there are even worse ones?
That was quite bad because it really went on and on. And usually when you got a row of really grumpy, annoyed people, you do end up taking the piss out of them a bit. So I ended up, there's all, one of those handkerchief displays, serviette displays they have with hundreds of serviettes. I was just taking them out and scrumpling them up and throwing them at them. They were just sitting there just to kind of bring it on. They got really upset. And then the bar were giving out shots because it wasn't going well. So they sent a waitress out with millions of shots, trying to get everyone drunk to immediately like it. So I stole them all and did about 10, all of the shots. So I was provoking them, but you've got to have fun. And eventually some people started to laugh at it because they get what's happening. They get that I'm making fun of the situation. So they began to find it funny that it was going so badly, which is different than just doing your routine. People don't like it. Then you just carry on with your routine. That would be much worse. That would be harder on the soul to deal with because you've no options and if you're not, you've nowhere to go. But if you're mucking about, improvising, trying to make things up, or if you go into, what I do is I have so different options. So if it's not working, I can just go into a safe story. I can put the microphone down and just tell them a set story where they don't need to feel so scared that I'm going off piste the whole time, or improvising a song can get too scary for people. He's making it all up. Where's the jokes? So I've got lots of options. So it never bothers me. It's always going to be fine. It's always going to be fine.
Oh, that's awesome. It takes experience.
What was your last gig? Are you performing actually?
Yeah, that one I did. I mean, like a Wednesday. Sorry about that. Yeah, I did Marseille. Okay, do you remember Marseille?
Yeah,
you did 2 shows. Okay, yeah, you did 2 shows. The second one was at Marseille, right? Yeah. So there was a Russian open mic, and I went. There were a lot of people for an open mic, and it was great. Okay, I had fun. Yeah, and tomorrow Leah and I gonna do a mic as well. So.
And you go on stage together, you two? Baba, haha, bidding. Over.
No, we haven't figured out a way to be a duo.
I've got an idea.
Oh, great.
Everyone, double acts are always like this on stage. Why do you have one really at the front and one at the back, and you're just both talking at the same time about your... You can come up with something, you two, your friends.
We have a very small stage.
We'll stand back to back there. You've both got a microphone and you're both going, so... What happened today? I got up in the morning and just both be talking at the same time, and that would be very funny. The crowd, if you don't, as long as you don't stop, I find that very funny. But anyway, over.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. We can try it out. All right.
Because it'd be so hard to keep talking while you can hear someone talking, but the crowd can listen to 2 conversations at the same time. It'd be interesting. But anyway, I always like double acts. When people go for it, you always think, they've got such a good friendship, they want to show you. And then I love double acts, really.
Right, that's awesome. So, I mean, like, how do you get your, new ideas? How do you write new jokes? I mean, like, where do you get ideas from? What inspires you?
Yeah, it's very easy for me. I just need to start speaking. I know that on stage it'll all be all right. So I just try and follow my nose in life and get up to adventures and see things and go for things that interest me and then talk about it. And in the talking about it, without rehearsal is better. So once you're talking about it, things will happen in your mind as you're talking. So I improvise, and I'm telling stories of things that have happened, or I'm telling stories of things I've just done. or a telling story of that day. So I've got lots of little layers. So I get my inspiration from just being into life. I find it pretty amazing, you know, and so sometimes there are no jokes because there's not pretend concepts. There are sometimes. I mean, I thought of one the other day. I can think of jokes. I just don't really use, you know, too many puns, too many homophones, you know, too many things about wordplay. But I love language, so you do get into that zone. But I don't like to trick people, so I like to just speak about what is. And sometimes comedy, the root of it is doing what's unexpected. So if you start telling people, you know, how to change a puncture on stage, that could work because that's unexpected because you're just doing a real thing. But of course you could then work in jokes, but the thing itself might be funny. So I think of it as a multi-sided thing. So the which side is like a hexagon thing, whatever. So I might be looking at that side, or there might be that side or that side. There's lots of different angles to come at it from. So I always think, don't worry, you'll come up with it. And then audiences are incredibly psychic, you know, as a bunch. So if you talk about something real, they will go with you. Real, as you probably know, real things always get a greater laugh than anything else. The atmosphere in a room, if somebody sneezes in the room and the comedian relates to it, then that always gets a laugh because that's just real life. So I try and plug into real life and know that my joy is, you know, I'm a good guy. You know, I've got good joy. I don't have secret, dark confusion joy or something. I'm a good guy, so I can share, you know, happy things, and that's always got more energy and more plentiful supply for me. So I find it very easy, and so I can't wait to do shows sometimes. Over. Yes.
Right. So during this time, okay, have you ever thought about any like a virus-related jokes to do?
Yeah. I think it's very good example of this whole thing of what comedy is. People are looking at the issue and thinking of the words that describe it and playing it, but in fact, everyone's having their own personal version of what the virus is. And in fact, we like things to go viral, isn't it? The way the virus is working, it's not a bad thing. It's like illness in your teenage years or illness in a community isn't bad for the human race. So there's a whole other angle to it as itself, as a virus, as a routine, as a subject to talk about. And yet, it's more about what you get up to in these times that will be interesting to people, because people will always have heard the same topics. So I'm going to leave all the stuff about being on stage and talking about shopping. Yes, it's the perfect time to shoplift, isn't it? Because we're wearing a mask and we're allowed to be shifty in the shops. You know, I'll come up with that. All that stuff will come up. I don't want to think about it or plan it. The more important thing is to me to think about what I got up to during my viral time. So that's what I'll go on. And so I've been playing an enormous amount of table tennis. So I'll be talking about that. Because you're not meant to meet people, but I've been going to a secret underground ping pong session, table tennis session, in a basement of a car park, and we've been calling it Fit Club. It sounds like Fight Club, doesn't it? So it's a dingy basement for illicit underground table tennis, because that's good for a man my age, you know, keeping limber, yoga of the mind, focusing your eyes, playing, and it's perfect social distancing because a table tennis table is 2.17 meters high. Although, of course, we're leaning forward and breathing and getting out of breath and paddling our germs to each other with the paddle. So we're doing it wrong, but doing it right. So, of course, I just don't want to think about it like that because I'll let everyone else do. I got a whole this thing I probably said. I got sent a whole thing about the word corona and playing with all the concepts of, and I don't find it funny at all. What I'll find funny is people's honesty about, wow, man, you know, what did comedians do? They couldn't earn money. What did they do? What did they do? All these funny guys and women. It'll be fascinating to find out. So, but for me, gigs will always be a chance to sing some songs, muck about, and tell stories. And I've got plenty of stories from the past I haven't told, so it doesn't matter. But I'm also looking forward to being in rooms again with people where you just, I mean, imagine hugging. You could do a show where you just hug the whole crowd, one by one, you know. Because hugging now, or getting back into it, is what humans realize it's all about. It's about what they feel for others. So some people got a bit sick in their heads because they can't reach others. So it really upsets them. They can't reach humans at the moment. So people are going to go back. The floodgates of horn and excitement are going to burst, and people are going to come back to each other or onto each other with a lovely. So it'll be amazing. I can't wait, and I can't wait to utilize that. You probably know it when you're on stage. It's quite intimate. There's this silence, and it's up to you what's going to happen next. It's pretty amazing. So I can't wait to get back to that, and then all the way as an antidote to being alone, being around people will be amazing. You do shows sometimes on flat stages, obviously, but I like to be in among people. So I always come off stages and go among them. It'd be brilliant to do when we're all allowed to just be back among each other. But it'd be amazing. I can think now I'm talking about it. I can come out with some quite ideas in my mind actually about how you could be use that whole thing of reaching everybody. It'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. So you don't like doing comedy online, because now there are comedians who are doing Zoom comedy. Have you ever?
Yeah, it's not appealing to me at all. I saw some and I just had to turn it off straight away. It was friends of mine and it just looked terrible, because why would you want to do a watered down, atmosphereless? Why not just collect your routines, video yourself? Yeah, I don't know, but I have no interest in it. It makes me balk, BAUK. I don't like it at all. So I'm not into it and I don't want to do it. But I having said that, I do want to probably move towards releasing. I've recorded lots of songs that I make up and send them to friends. I could send some to you, so I could do one of them every day. That'd be fun. But I just don't have that urge to communicate in a watered down version of. I mean, this is good because I get to see you again. That's great fun, and we can chat. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean as much. It reminds you of what you could go outside and meet a friend or stranger in real life. It's right there. So I've no interest in doing shows online, and also maybe I wouldn't be very good at it. Maybe my heart's not in it because there'd be no gaps. How do you ask people a question? Hey man, where are you from? There's no one there. It'd be like lonely. Shut up at the back. You have to pretend, but you could have an audience made out of cardboard cutouts. That'd be quite fun. I don't know, but people are talking issues. Some guys, I've seen my friend showed me a bit online, and it just looked dreadful and lonely with these people in their houses doing satire. Didn't interest me, but maybe there is good stuff. Maybe there are good guys doing, and I'm just an old humbug over.
All right. I started Googling you, and then I watched some of your videos from the 1990s. And then awesome. And then it's I think right after you won that was that a show called So You Think You're Funny?
Yeah, that was really early on. That was I did that. That's how I began.
That was I don't know. That's the information I got online. You won that show a year after you started doing comedy. That was really fast.
Oh my God, Liang, I had the best start to any career you've ever seen, because back then, this is 29 years ago, 30 years ago, there was no open mics with hundreds of guys. It was just about 20 people in the world doing it. So I entered a competition. My first ever gig was a heat. I won that. Second gig ever was the final of this competition. And then my third gig was on TV with about 5 other stars. Joe Brand, John Hegley, Arthur Smith, famous guys. I got 6 minutes on TV. There's only 3 channels back then. So, and then, and then I got asked to do something else. So I started really lucky because it was a small amount of people, but it was a great thing to do. I did lots of gigs, but over the years, 30 years, I've grown up as a human. So I started off just doing one-liners. When I began, all I had was one-liners, just jokes, I can think of them now, probably, if I really have to. I can think of some quite good jokes, but they're just one-liner jokes, and you just have to.
I don't know. I remember one that was very. Sorry to interrupt. You were saying that your grandma was saying that, Phil, if you do comedy, you shouldn't leave the stage when they're still laughing.
Oh, no, that's good. Yeah.
and then you did this a thing to stop them from laughing for I think a couple of minutes. That was really, really good. It takes a lot of confidence to do that.
It does. No, that's again, that's not a joke. That's just like a thing. That's like clowning. That's like a different skill, isn't it? That's like once you get something that the crowd, they all understand, and you can't lose. I mean, it's a bit like when you find something like that, and I've done that over the years, it can be so good. And I've done it for a long time until literally people are angry and are waiting, and there's one person going, and then you just, and then everyone's about, and then there's just someone else laughs, and you just keep it going for ages. I mean, that's a very good, that's a good bit. Thanks. Yeah. I like doing that. That's quite good fun. That's what it's all about. If you get everyone's momentum and all the crowd are aware of something, and that's why I improvise so much, because then the thing they're all aware of is something you've come up with together. So if you can then do callbacks, not just to what you said, but callbacks to what you've achieved with the room. I mean, there's ultimate gigs out there, and in the end, I've done about 25 over the years that are, absolutely the best, where it all just happens. You think of everything you need to do, and it's as good as routines. Other times you're just trying to make it work, and sometimes, but you're allowing for the best. That's my deal. You allow for the best, and so I've got enthusiasm for it, and yeah, I'm lucky. There's a show online called Mostly. You should look at that. Mostly Phil Kay, Mostly Comedy, and that's got the first 20 minutes where I just go, and that's quite a good one. But the rest online, there's nothing really good online. It's all a bit formal. But thanks for googling.
That was fun to watch. Was that the one that you were in a room with like a blue walls and your name's all over the place?
Oh yeah, that's the singing one. Yeah, I'm singing with Russell Howard.
Singing about the cheese.
Yeah, I said, what should I sing about? And then somebody shouted cheese. So I just came up with a song. I think it's not bad. It gets a bit rude, doesn't it? But it's quite good.
Yeah.
I love making up songs. It's such good fun.
Go ahead.
Maybe we could
sing something, huh?
Maybe you'd like to sing now. All right, maybe I should sing now. We were trying to come up with a theme tune when you were offline, when you had gone away. We carried on without you, I have to say.
Oh, I miss the music.
No, you didn't. Yeah. We've been talking about you while you were gone. We're talking behind your back all night long. We were spreading rumors and gossip about you and you. Cut yourself up, you hang up on me, we'll find you again. Bum bum ba bum bum. Ba 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 bum. Sing forever, but there's no point singing.
So music has been always part of your life, big part.
Yeah, and it's it's actually what I love best and what I'm better at. So I have a band. I've written songs, and I have a keyboard player and a violinist and a drummer and a singer, and so that's what I love. So I would love that to take off, which is perfect. But I can't be a band. You can't be a band. It's a young man's game. So I'm recording. The next thing I do after writing is recording an acoustic version of all my songs and send them out. People buy melodies, so it's a possibility. Someone could buy a melody. You never know. But in the end, it don't matter. It's just the best thing. It's the best thing in the world. Making up songs, playing music, and then dancing. If you can play music for people to dance to, I've done it we've done 6 or 7 real gigs where we're just a band in the bar and people are dancing. That's way better than comedy. Comedy is all right. But laughter's only, don't you find laughter sometimes people are just like, ha, it's just too defined sometimes. You're on stage, ha ha. Whereas when you're listening to music, there's a lot more width, I think, sometimes to the experience. So, I can't wait to I've been playing a lot myself around here. You can just start again now with the virus, allows you to sit by a shop and just sit on a wall and play, and people love it. They really do. You don't hassle them, you don't aggressively sing. As long as you sing a wee tune, people absolutely love it, because music shows us that no one can own anything really. It's it's up there, and so I love it. And no one can own anything. No one owns the rally. All that matters is the rally. So fun.
So out of all these things you're doing, like a writing and comedy and then music, which one's your favorite?
Yeah, not being modest, but I haven't got that good at writing. I'm very good at having adventures and typing them up. So I just recently, I think I've got slightly better at the whole process. So I've enjoyed writing about 250,000 words and editing it all to, I'd try and make each sentence. I used to write a lot of journalism where you write, 700 words or 400 words, and you've got to try and make every sentence have a rhythm and a sound. And that's what I've done. I've done that. So I'd say I'm enjoying that best, is the editing process of seeing ideas and holding a text in your brain and then dropping in funny things. So, because they're in your life anyway. So the details of things that interest me are coming out. And so I'm making myself laugh from remembering things that I've got up to and funny, interesting ways to say them. So that's what I'm loving more than the getting slightly better at the writing process. But in the end, nothing beats a new melody and of a song as well. Because sometimes you can't quite work them out. They're like you've got most of a. There's hardly any difference, but there's so much in there. No one needs to be alone. No one wants to be alone. So even that's just a few different notes, but I could sing that all day because you're literally getting to know it. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So if you study music, you'll know what that's going on there and you'll know the notes, but I don't have any musical knowledge, so it's all amateur hour with me. It's all just the notes, what I can sing. So I don't have any clever ways to do it. So that in the end is the best thing. A new melody is your own thing, boy. So yeah, over.
So since when you started bringing in music to your comedy?
I remember exactly when, really, really early. The third year I did shows at the Edinburgh Festival, I had I had a phone connected to the switchboard of the venue. So I used to get phone calls during my show. Hello, to buy tickets for the Gilded Balloon for another venue in the Edinburgh Festival. And I used to go and put them on hold, say, sorry, can I put you on hold? And then I would just play music and the crowd would laugh. And I didn't have to make a song up. I just had to play anything. That was the joke. So people are listening to hold music, but it's live. So that was the third year I did it. I did one half song every now and then, but now it's just all over the place because, in fact, if you do some scatty, crazy stuff and then a couple of stories and then you take everything into a song, it's like another level. So, I mean, when it works, it doesn't always work because you sometimes go ba 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 ba, and where are you from, whatever. But sometimes it just happens beautifully, and it can be the best thing in the show. And sometimes I'm in a mood, I walk on, I just start playing, like as if I am a musical comedian. I don't do any talking. I just you come off with really sore fingers because you're holding it for half an hour or whatever, but it's worth it. And yet the best thing is just to fling it in. The best thing is when you get people singing along. You actually make up some new chorus, and then people are, I don't know what happened. I can't remember what happened that you saw, but I'm sure I did some singing. But I don't remember, it didn't gel, it didn't really work, whatever. But I remember sometimes it can. And again, with music, because most people have written naughty rhymes. That's what it's all about. And then and they're quite simple. I don't really like comedy songs. It's hard for them to be brilliant. So, but if you're making something up, that's different. Because then people can sing along. Remaining time, 8 minutes, 13 seconds. We've eaten up all our rams. Woo! Filled up the internet. Oh, I've got a sore back from leaning in. I'm trying not to, I mean, I want to look at you, but you're not there. You're not up there, you're down there. But if you go like that, I'm looking you in the eye now, thanks. That's much better. You're not there. You are where I'm looking, you're not there. You're down there. But then that looks silly, doesn't it? So from a distance. And if I just go cross-eyed, no one's going to know.
All right. So when was the last time you used technology like this?
I've never done this.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done uh, anything like this. I mean, I know it's out there, and I could do Zoom with my kids. My friend here, she does Zoom with her 4 children. It's great. I could do that with some 2 grown-up children I've got, but I don't bother because again, for me, I'm just old enough that I don't have to, and it doesn't. It just reminds you, and then these wee gaps. We're doing a kind of semi-interview, but I wouldn't enjoy just chatting to you in life like this. It would be a bit much. And interviews are always strange, and you know, so that's why I brought all these funny things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also making bookmarks out of tartan. Go on, who needs bookmarks out of tartan? Sell them online. I've got the world's smallest travel frisbee. Have you ever seen this? I mean, it's incredible. That's the lid of a yogurt. You take that with you on holiday. Well, you think I'm a madman, isn't it? So when I was writing, I found it very useful to open up. This is Bernstein playing Beethoven, but to open up the albums and then write the notes here. So you know, I find that very useful to write notes, and then they start turning into a bit like interesting. Like, you know, I was discovering the symbology, because I'd like to make it clear I don't believe in the power of any symbology. There's no power in any of it. It's just people's worry. That's where the power is. So I just take the mickey, take the piss, extract the truth out of whatever symbology is. So I've been drawing symbols, and then I have a writing about the tick versus the swoosh, you know, and all that. So I mean, I don't know. I'm lucky, but maybe I mean, something good will come of it because it's practice. I've got better at it, and I've been doing yoga as well. I've been sort of trying to bend my leg a bit better. While, you know, sitting in if you've got to stay in, why not put your leg where it doesn't want to go? Which is basically yoga.
You know, I see a lot of like an interesting thing. Like, you don't use a lot of technology, but you connect when you're on stage. You connect with the very young people very well. I mean, and then is that true that you're having a storytelling show?
Yeah, I do some shows. There are festivals where it's all described as storytelling, and it's a whole different atmosphere. Because as you know, stand-up's quite give us a laugh, and there's lots of jokiness, and you can't really trust things. Whereas I've been to a storyteller at a festival where you walk and it's all calm, no one's shouting at you, there's no heckling, it's all and that's storytelling as part of comedy festivals. But they're actually storytelling festivals, and they are amazing, and it's a whole different vibe. And I'm not strictly speaking a storyteller. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'm like, you know, the funniest guys who are at dancing, who are not comedians, they're dancers, I feel like. So I'm a storyteller, but I'm not really. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I'd lost you again. Yeah. The good thing is, I do a children's show. I do a kids show where everyone brings props, and I just improvise with children. You know, that's a show. And then I do. So yeah, it's lovely having options, and I definitely storytelling is great. Look, that was the big idea, was to come back to Asia and do a storytelling festival in Singapore, because you can have amateurs do it. Have you heard of the Moth Club in New York? People go along and just tell stories that don't last more than 5 minutes, but everyone's allowed to. No one's getting booed, and you can be sad or funny or real or whatever. So I do like that thing, and I arrange some of my own gigs where people would then feel free to talk. I've done lots of gigs where I get people out of the audience to tell their stories. If you make people relaxed enough, as you know, that's what friendship is about. You make your friends relaxed enough, they will tell you things. You see a bunch of women together, they're having more fun telling each other stories than most folks, you know, because they're relaxed enough with each other. So I've done lots of gigs like that, and I'm definitely going to set up something again. The storytelling festival fell through in Singapore, obviously, but it kind of hadn't come together as an idea anyway. But I'm doing things in my own country that are along those lines, where it's just make it, because everybody's brilliant. Everybody's got stories. It's just a case of making them relaxed enough to be as good as you or professionals. It's a totally different thing once you start to tell a story. Obviously, you can get small ones and stuff that you've just been up to, things you've just done, and yet there's different ones with me. There's longer, bigger ones that happened years ago, but I love telling again. And they're like a set piece. They're like a they're like a set piece. Oh, look at that! He's biting you. Nightmare.
Yeah, his teeth are growing. So I have scratches all over me.
No, my
But
kids have got 3 kittens at the moment. Oh!
Yeah. This, thanks to the virus. Yeah, I just found him like I think a couple of weeks ago on the street.
Of course. Yeah. This is the time to adopt animals, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So.
Yeah, I had a dog for years. So I lived in Glasgow in Scotland, right in the city, and I got a puppy from the abandoned puppy house. You know, and I took it home, and then my love at the time, I gave her this puppy, and then we, you know, grew him up for about 4 years in the city, and it was just beautiful because it just changes the vibe. Having an animal around just really works so well.
Yeah.
That's a good story, actually. How I got that puppy, because they went in and they had all the puppies were in cages, you know, and the guy said, "No, we're closing up in 5 minutes." I said, "It's not going to take me long to choose a puppy." I got this puppy, picked one straight away. I put her in my jacket, and she immediately, when I drove her home, she just weed herself. You know, she was so happy and so relaxed. She just did a big wee wee. I remember thinking, and I was driving, and I had her in my jacket. It's really sweet. So we called her Earth, which is like URPH, Earth. So when you're calling her, you go, Earth, Earth. And
that's the sound that she makes, I guess.
Oh, she was very lovely, Vito. Very lovely.
All right. Okay. Have you ever done any bit about animals?
Yes. I've got a brilliant story about horses. Did I not tell you about the horses? A very good story about getting nearly run over on this narrow cycle path by some race horses that had escaped from the local stables. And I was at night and I was cycling and I could hear this noise. And it was all their hooves and they were running towards me and I had nowhere to go. And this story is a really good story. It takes about 15 minutes to tell about when you hear the horses coming, what do? You can't run anywhere. There's nowhere to go. You just got to take it and hope that, you know. So I tell this really good story about that. I like that. I've been looking after pigs for the last couple of years and sheep up in a wee farm. So I was talking about them a lot because when you feed pigs every day and then you know they're going to get made into sausages, that makes you think a lot about stuff like that. And in the end, I couldn't eat the sausages. But animals, yeah. I mean, I like animals. And we were just talking about it today, actually. We're saying I always treat animals well because people say elephants never forget. It's a saying, you know, elephants. But no animal ever forgets in the sense that we don't forget. We don't forget. If we're unkind to animals, we remember it. And if we're kind to animals, it's good because we remember that in ourselves. Because just because they can't tell anyone doesn't mean you can't tell yourself. Now, I've got to go now, Liam, because I've got to go help some friends who are doing something important.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being with us.
No problem. Good. And anyway, keep in touch and thanks very much and have a great time. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.